every young lady that had a problem with her with her boyfriend or her husband back home had to come tell me their problems because I was the old gray-haired part they could come talk to.
There you go.
And the chaplain did offer to, said that he should be giving me some sort of a special blessings or something for all the referrals I gave him. So, but thank you. It's kind of sorry, I can't blame it on blurry screen syndrome because there's no computer in front of me. But I'm not very politically correct, so I'm just going to call it like I see it. And first of all, what you see on TV and what you're hearing in the news, 99% of the time is not my experience over there. Troop morale is high, really high.
Yeah.
You'll be proud. Well, I was there, excuse me, no one complained. They just got up and did their job. Day in, day out. When they got extended, they called their wives, they listened to it, their wives understood it, and they went to work. Nobody was upset and screaming and crying. Matter of fact, the only time you ever saw a morale dip was when we were watching the news. And you hear what people were saying back home, news media was saying. And that would cause them to get a little upset. 10 minutes after the news, morale's back up because they're looking at their brothers and sisters and going, we're going to get out there and do the job again tomorrow. Because they know what they're doing is right. The news media would have you believe that everywhere you go, the world over there is a mess. When in fact, it's just a small piece of the country. Small fraction of the country. That's been my experience. I walked around without body armor, didn't carry a weapon most of the time I was there. I only carried a weapon when I traveled to the other bases that I went to. That was only because we were required to, and when I got there, I only carried it because I didn't have a safe to put it in, a place to lock it up while I was there. All right, we didn't wear body armor at all, except when we were in certain areas where there might be snipers or things. And it was very rare. I could stand right on the edge of the base fence and talk to the Iraqi farmers farming the land right up to our fence. Matter of fact, one of the biggest problems we had was we would see the bad guys, know they were there, and be watching them with video cameras from high in the sky that they couldn't see. And we'd be wanting to follow them to their home and find out where these guys are living and who their friends are. And our problem was the local Iraqi farmers would intervene, capture the guys, beat them up, and bring them to the gate and turn them over to us. And we're saying, no, get away, leave them alone. We want to find out what it is. But it happens daily. You know, when they talk about Iraqis not standing up and fighting, when you see a guy with nothing more than a shovel and a wooden handle going after a guy with an AK-47 and beat him up and drag him to the gate. They had to rely on sheer numbers of farmers to go get these guys. You know, here, look what we found. Here's the weapons. You know, when a new guy showed up in our area and they pretty much knew he didn't belong there, they would come and tell us, hey, new face in town, doesn't belong here. He's staying over here. So that our guys could go find out who this person was. 9 times out of 10, it turned out to be somebody who was looking to cause problems. Something else you hear all the time that the Iraqis are doing this and doing that. You know, they're, having a civil war. That wasn't our experience, or at least it wasn't my experience. The people I talked to, the people I know, said that most of the people we were getting and detaining and or killing in raids because they were attacking us were carrying Iranian money, Iranian weapons. They were from Syria, Saudi Arabia. They were from everywhere but Iraq. And in my short time, I was lucky to only have to do 4 months, not the 15 months or 18 months that a lot of the troops are doing. But during that period of time, they never brought an Iraqi in. Did we ever capture one? They were always insurgents from outside the country. And all their pockets was the currency from Iran. Iran was paying them to come over and stir up problems. Iran was paying them to come over and attack the Shiites and then go across and attack the Sunnis and make it look like the Shiites did it, and vice versa. The people in Iraq have finally figured this out. They know what's going on. So it's not a civil war of the Sunnis against the Shiites as we saw it. It was these guys coming in and stirring up trouble, trying to cause a civil war. Because the last thing that the Iranians wanted or the Syrians want is a peaceful government, a free government on their borders. Because their people are already looking across the border and seeing the freedoms that the Iraqis now have and are saying, we want these ourselves. And these regimes are afraid they're going to lose power, and they want to be the power in the Middle East. So that's been my experience with that. As far as the Patriot Guard goes over there, nearly everybody I ran into knew who we were. As I traveled, there was 5 bases that I was traveling between, and also on our base, which was 28,000 people at Balad, Iraq, also known as Camp Anaconda. There was, everywhere I went, I ran into PGR members, fellow members. I ran into shops that had PGR flags. And everybody, they would put it on a big table when everybody came in would sign it. Or you go to one of the 5 dining halls, there'd be a PGR flag laid out on a table saying, please sign this, we're going to send this back to some group. And many people were members. There was 9 of us in the safety office over there. We came from several different areas, and out of the 9 people in our safety office, 6 of us were, when we arrived, were all Patriot Guard riders. You know, and as we walked around, we ran into more and more and said, hey, I hear you're in PGR, because I had my flag stuck up in my office, and people come by, hey, I'm a PGR member, I live in South Carolina, you know, or, you know, I'm from California, and I'm a PGR rider. You know, so there are many PGR members over there that are service members, and many more people over there, and they very much so appreciate what we do. Most of the people have found out who we are by, unfortunately, fellow members of their unit that have had to bring a brother or sister home and for a funeral. And they've seen what we've done there, and then they've taken pictures and information back to their units. So we're very well known and very well supported over there. The general on the base where I was at, he was an Air Force general who came into the office one day and says, I hear you're with the PGR. He says, they're sending over lots of stuff to our guys. Tell them thank you. He said, we really appreciate it. Some of the things that was really appreciated that was sent by the PGR over there is our ladies that were making sand scarves. The Army folks and the Air Force folks, especially Air Force, they didn't have them. They didn't ship people over with those. And every time they sent me a shipment of sand scarves, I could scarcely get out of the building before they were out of my hand. You know, he says, you're giving those away? I'll take some. I got 3 guys in my unit that could use them. You know, and I passed them out right and left. I could have given away 1,000 more. Also, for the people that are making the cool rags, those were huge over there. And everyone was, oh, yeah, give me that. That's so great. And they would wrap it around their neck, between their neck and their body armor, and keep them cool while they're out there. And I take my hat off to the Army and to the Marine Corps. Those guys are outside the fence. It was damn hot. All right, I was there in the wintertime. But when I left, the day I left was 10 o'clock in the morning. We got on the plane, and we checked the temperature just as we walked out on the plane. It was 122 degrees. All right? Yes, correct. Yes. Take it up, throw on 90 pounds of gear, and head out there in that sun and in that heat, and that hot wind and that dust, and never complain. Sun up and sun down, no matter what the hours are. So, they earn my respect. gonna say, what we do matters, and we gotta keep doing what we're doing. As long as they're there, we need to be here